So, demand is the first element that we're going to discuss in the price mechanism. For a two mark definition, I'll give you a much bigger definition, at least it'll qualify for a three marker. But for a two marker, what the examiner wants is what is demand or defined demand. We say it is the willingness and ability of consumers to buy a good or service at various price levels in a given time period. So now, demand is the willingness, you get one mark, and ability, you get another mark, of consumers to buy a good and services at various price levels in a given period of time. The thing is, time frame matters over here. Time frame क्यों matter करता है? Because लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल नीचे एग्जाम्पल दिया हुआ है, मैग्नम के बारे में है, ठीक है. सो एक डिमांड स्केड्यूल दिया हुआ है. सो द डिमांड स्केड्यूल हेल्प्स यू कंस्ट्रक्ट द डिमांड कर्व. क्या दिखाता है? इट शोज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द प्राइस ऑफ अ गुड and the quantity a person wants to buy. So, what do I mean by various price levels in a given period of time? So, let's suppose this is an individual's demand schedule for Magnum. Okay. So, Magnum ice cream, personally, if you ask me, I have to be a lot more specific. Okay. I'm talking about the classic flavor. Okay, I can't switch between flavors, then it becomes a different story then. So I just want to talk about Magnum classic flavor in the time duration of a week. How much would I be willing to buy and able to buy, obviously? Why willing and able is important is because, let's say, do I want a Ferrari? Of course I want a Ferrari. Can I purchase it? Do I have the ability? I say, no, I don't really have the ability to do so. So, Ferrari is not just going to look at people's willingness, because if they were thinking about willingness, then everyone on earth probably wants one. So, they can't produce that many. So, they have to look at the ability also. They can't just look at ability only, because there's a lot of rich people who have the ability to buy Ferraris, but they prefer some other car, maybe Lamborghini or Rolls Royce or something like that. So, when Ferrari wants to see how much should be produced based on what is the demand, they need to see how many people want to buy it, and of those people, how many have the ability. That's why these two words are the key ones. So, of my Magnum example, so in a week's time, if I was asked if the Magnum is for 60 rupees, how much would I be willing to buy? So out of 7 days, I say, you know what, I would purchase about four. At the price of 80, I say, you know what, I think three is better because now it's getting expensive. For $100, I'll say in a week I'll have two. If it was 120, I would have one, and if it's 140, I would not have any because I would rather go and have Delphi or something like that. Okay, so I'm sort of like showing what my willingness and ability is. And so when we're plotting for it, price always goes on the y-axis. Quantity per week will go on the x-axis. The quantities I will mark Over here, this is our 0 point. So this is the first time we're drawing the diagram of price mechanism. We've done these in PPC. I guess we know X and Y axis has some representations. Now, my price is over here starting with 60. So what I'll do is I'm just going to make this line showing that, there are some numbers which I don't want to look at. They're irrelevant for current. And so I will, so 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. I don't need to talk about 160. So let's plot. At 60, I am willing and able to buy about 4. At 80, I'm willing and able to buy about 3 and 2 and 1 and 0. Now remember, they not necessarily have to be so specific, right? They can have different sort of a shape, but this is how you construct a demand curve.